Hi scholars, you've made it to learning station number 5, which means you've now done some reading and some watching some videos about the different groups of people that settled into the northwest area of Washington Territory. Now, a lot of them were from all the parts of the world. There were Europeans, Hawaiians, Japanese, Chinese, and Filipinos, like me. Well, now you're tasked to write an editorial. Well, essentially an editorial is an argumentative piece. And our learning standard for this particular unit of writing is how to write an argumentative essay. We're really focusing on domain-specific content, which means what is the history I'm learning? And you're going to do that through the writing process. So today, we're going to learn about the 5-paragraph argumentative essay. Now, of course, I'm not going to make you write all 5 paragraphs today, but we're going to try to write the main body. So we have the introduction, the body paragraph, and the conclusion. That's the minimum. I would love it if you could challenge yourself and do all 5. So that's what I'm going to teach you today. So let's look at the basics. By the end of today, I can learn the structure of a 5-paragraph argumentative essay, and I will use this structure to write a 5-paragraph argumentative essay. So, how hard can arguing be? You probably argue every day. I certainly did with my younger brothers when I was your age. Well, argument is actually an art. And so you really have to think about what is my position, what is my stance I'm trying to take, and then how am I going to argue this the best using specific detail to support my thinking. So, let's start with the structure. Well, as you can see, the structure has 5 body paragraphs. Kind of similar to what you were doing with informational writing, but this time a little twist because you want to put in your own point of view and position. So, just like information, argumentative writing also includes 5 paragraphs. I've color-coded it for you to help a little bit with the structure. So we have in blue, paragraph number 1 is your introduction. Paragraphs 2, 3, and 4 are your body paragraphs. That's the meat of what you're trying to be arguing in your essay. And lastly, in purple, we have paragraph 5, which is your conclusion. Let's start with the introduction. Well, in the introduction, the first thing you need to do is you need to introduce the topic. Introducing the topic is going to be different depending on what your argumentative essay is about. Well, since we're talking about immigration, cultural diversity, how different groups interacted, that's going to be the focus of this particular editorial. That should be your topic that you're going to be focusing on. Then you need to write, well, why is this topic important? Lastly, why should the audience care? So those go hand in hand. Then, the most important part, what is your claim? What is your thesis? What is the position that you are trying to get the reader to understand? And with any good introduction and paragraph, you need to make sure it transitions. So there's a nice bridge that moves the reader to the next paragraph smoothly. Well, after the introduction, you've told us what the particular writing piece is going to be focusing on. Let's get into the meat of it, and that's the body. In a 5-paragraph essay, you should have 3 body paragraphs. For this particular task, I would be happy if you could write 1 body paragraph, but again, if you want to get those extra Destiny dollars, we're shooting for more. With a body paragraph, you're going to look at your position and you're going to say, well, what is the one topic sentence? A statement that supports my claim and thesis. Then, I'm going to look at multiple details. I should pretty much look at least 3, if not more. These are pieces of evidence that supports my topic sentence. These could be facts from my readings, logic, statistics also from my research, and anecdotes, These could be like little mini stories, nothing too long, just little stories that help get your point across or your topic across. And then, of course, we're transitioning again, right? This transition statement can go from body paragraph to body paragraph or the body paragraph to your conclusion. Then, the grand finale, our conclusion. So, remember, the conclusion is the part of the writing that your readers are going to remember most because that's the last thing that they read. So, I need to restate why this topic is important. I need to review the main points. Now, don't say exactly what you wrote in your body paragraphs, but summarize it in another way to understand what these main points are. You are going to review your claim or your thesis, and lastly, make sure it makes sense. Make sure it's logical. So you want to read it through before publishing. So that's all great and wonderful. What is this going to look like in the end? Well, I've color-coded it for you. Since you're doing all the thinking, I've just color-coded and can actually write words because you're going to replace these colors with the words. We have the introduction in blue, transitions in green again, body paragraphs in the orange, red color, and lastly the conclusion in purple. So if we were to write this, we would start here at the top with our introduction in blue. We would then transition into our body paragraphs. Notice I have one body paragraph transition, second body paragraph transition, and a third body paragraph transition. And then lastly, we have our conclusion. Now you know all the steps to write a 5-paragraph argumentative essay. Use that great research you and your team worked on to understand the diversity of culture and get writing. Good luck.